Delighted to say I'm joined by Ferguson, a former and international Ballymena manager, here locally live on McLean's TV. Whenever you take a look at the game, what's the standard of the game like at the minute?
Compared to what it was when I first came into the game 25 years ago, I think it's definitely deteriorated slightly. When I came in, you'd like Jim Cleary and Billy Kosky, Lee Dougherty, boys who were all in the national scene then when First Division players were being selected for the squad, so the quality was a lot better then. But to be fair, the boys now, they're working at it and they're trying their best, they're working hard in training, fitness levels are good, and they're trying to make themselves as best they can, but I just say there's not just as much quality.
I've been to several Irish League matches this year. I have to say I've enjoyed the vast majority of them. You're talking about effort, determination. It does exactly what it says in the tin. They certainly try hard.
Yeah, well that's one thing you'll get from them is honesty. It's not like the Premier League ones where you get them diving about. They take a kicking and they get back up and go at it again. So say they're honest and they train hard and prepare themselves for the games well. I don't think there's any doubt in that. But maybe just lack that wee bit of quality, but what they lack in quality they make up for in endeavour, and it makes it fascinating when you see them on TV. It's a breath of fresh air for someone.
You're talking about some players taking a kicking, and I think it's fair to say, not being too cruel, but since the County Antrim Shield success, you've taken a bit of a kick in yourself, but I mean you've gone off the pace a wee bit whenever a top 6 spot was almost very attainable.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Our aim at the start of the season was to get the cup final and try and get top 6. We achieved the cup final, but since that we slightly went downhill a bit. But we've a lot of young players in the team, and when you have that, you have a certain amount of inconsistency. But we've proved that getting beaten 8-0 by Cliftonville, and then we go out and beat Crusaders, getting beat by Linfield 6-0, and then go and beat them in the County Antrim. That proves the inconsistency we have. But we've got the ability and the talent there that can win matches. It's just trying to get it on a good level playing field and doing it week in, week out, which isn't happening for us at the minute. But we're working as hard as anyone to try and get that right.
You talk about the league and the quality in the league. Is it always a case whether the country clubs, and include the likes of Ballymena, Portadown, are they always going to struggle against the bigger city sides?
Yeah, I think they will do to a certain extent, because Linfield, Glentoran and Crusaders Cliftonville have the bigger catchment area in around Belfast, and players will all play for those clubs and travel out into the country. Whereas if one of those big clubs comes knocking on the door on a guy from the country, they're prepared to travel to Belfast to play for a big club. But we try our best. We've got a good mix of local players, and we've got a few from Belfast and further afield. So we're trying to go in the right direction and trying to attract players, and winning a trophy certainly helps that. So they can see we want to go in the right direction.
Can you just make the top 6?
It's going to be difficult now. We've dropped a few points over the last few weeks, but as long as there's points on the board, we'll try our best to get them. If it doesn't happen, we'll regroup and try and do it next year. But I think we'll be stronger going into the start of next season, and hopefully we can compete from an early stage.
Fergie, are you surprised by the success, the level of success, and the quality of play from Cliftonville?
No, not actually. To be fair, they've been knocking on the door the last couple of seasons and just fell away at the tail end of the season because the squad probably wasn't big enough. This year they've added quality players. Obviously they've got Liam Boyce back, James Knowles, good player, and they've added players in certain areas. Conor Devlin in goals has been a revelation for them, so they're there and deservedly so at the top of the league. They've won the Iron Brew Cup now, and who's to say they won't win the Irish Cup, because they'll be in there challenging. So they're there and deserve to be there, because the quality of football and style of football they're playing it's a breath of fresh air as well for the Irish League.
Is the league over?
I would say so. Yeah, the consistency they have, the confidence now that they're playing with, the continuity in the team, the players are playing week in, week out, and they're scoring goals. And if you score goals, you have a very chance of winning trophies and winning the league. So it'd be very difficult for other teams to catch them, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I was going to ask you too, as a former top-class player with Linfield, are you concerned the way they seem to have slipped this season? Are you surprised at that too? Of course, the level that David Jeffrey imposed over the years has been incredible. No,
I'm not concerned to a certain extent, because the level of consistency that Linfield have maintained over the last number of years is incredible, and you'll get a year when things will slip up, but David will regroup over the summer. You'll maybe get rid of 4 or 5 players and bring 6 or 7 in to strengthen the squad, and they'll be back chomping at the bit next week. They'll be hurting, knowing that they could go out throughout the season without winning the trophy, and that's when Linfield are at their worst, as you say. They'll be angry coming into the season next year, and the rest of the teams will have to watch out, because Linfield will be out for the fight.
I was going to ask you, you're a great player. Do you enjoy being a manager?
Oh, I love it. It's great. I've had the transition from player to management very quick, so I've stayed in the game and I know most of the players within the league. So I know the strengths and weaknesses, and it's just trying to to better them, you know, and try and get our players in the right mindset, get into the games. But no, I'm really enjoying it. Good backroom staff around me, and I think I'm at a good club to learn the game as a manager, you know. So I'm delighted to be there.